check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me a lot, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wonder why? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this bad at board games. Whole world clueless, selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge to tell her? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame, ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do, come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Man, dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
All right, I just got 2 images to you.
All right. Welcome. What is up? Earth's mightiest subscribers. This your boy Ernie Blerd without fear. I got a special guest with me today. I got the homie Antoine Ghost Mitchell, creator. Actually, not just creator, but artist, writer, color. I believe letters and colors.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I think. Wait. Hold on. I want to double check this because I actually have a copy right here in my hand. Right here. Sankofa's Embrayce #2. I want to make sure I want to make sure you get all your credits, sir. Let's see. Created, written, penciled, colored, lettered, and graphic design by Antoine Ghost Mitchell. So I got to give it up. Got to give it up to you, brother. For those of you, if you've been around for a while, this actually is not the first time that Antoine's been on here with us. He's been on here with us before. This was it was about was it not too long after the first issue?
Yeah,
of
it's not too
Sankofa's
long after the
Embrayce.
first issue, and actually it may have been March of 2020. I know it was right after the shutdown.
Okay. Yes. I was about to say, dude, I feel like that was a lifetime ago. It feels like I feel like it was a whole other era. I wasn't here for it. I honestly, is this gonna be like how? Not to say it's the exact same thing, but it's kind of like the way people who lived through the Great Depression.
Man.
It's like how they talk about it. Like, I feel like that's how we're gonna talk about the shutdown. We're like, well, man, look, dude, everybody was sheltering at home. but no, we've had Antoine on before, but we got him back on again because we're gonna be talking about a bunch of different things. But mainly, more specifically, we're gonna be talking about the comic Sankofa's Embrayce. We're also gonna be more specifically talking about the second issue, and we'll even, I think, be getting a little bit of a sneak peek at the upcoming third issue that's still currently in the works.
Yes.
And of course, we'll be talking about some other little odds and ends. Of course, we'll be talking about the we're going to talk about the process of creating your own comics and all that good stuff, and some other little odds and ends. But man, first and foremost, Antoine, how you been? How you been, brother?
Man, it's great to be back with you. Been following you, as I said before we started, man. I'm a little more upbeat than last time because I didn't know what was going on with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good, man. I'm honored to be back on. Your show, your whole channel was my favorite channel on YouTube. Pretty much anything, man. I watch it like it's regular television, bro.
Dude, hey, look, you have no idea how much I appreciate that, because that is high praise as far as I'm concerned. So look, I'm gonna take that I needed that boost because it's been rough out here for you, boy.
Even when I don't get to catch the Blerd Cave on Saturdays, man, I try to dip in when I can, just to say hi to you and Carter and everybody, man, because it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. It's a beautiful thing that you guys are doing, especially, man, with the causes that you try to get people into the know of, man. That's a real beautiful thing, and I know it takes a lot. It takes a big heart to genuinely do that for people, right? And you have done some remarkable things, so I'm honored to even be talking with you, man.
Hey, look, you got me. I'm getting a little misty in the eyes, man. Look, got me.
Hey, that's all right, bro. I ain't afraid to cry. I tell people all the time, look, I can't fight, but I can cry.
Hey, I tell people, look, this is something that I kind of joke about all the time, but my one of the things I always kind of laugh about is that I've never really ever been terribly ashamed of it, but I don't have any compunctions about wearing my feelings, my emotions, on my sleeve. Right. To the point my daughter, my 6-year-old, sometimes we'll watch
We'll be watching like YouTube videos, watching TV, watching movies, whatever together. And one of her favorite things to do is she loves listening to music and watching music videos and stuff like that. And we'll be listening to like one of her favorite things is she loves listening to like anime openings. And stuff like that, and some of like the Super Sentai and Kamen Rider show, she loves the music from that stuff. So whenever we go back and watch that stuff, we'll hear a song, and she loves watching to see if I start crying because a lot of the times the songs, the way they're written, the way they're presented to you is. Like, if you've seen the show, you just immediately, it just transports you back to where you were when you were watching it. And you just start remembering, like, oh, my God, I remember when this happened. Oh, my God, I remember when that happened. You remember the journey. And sometimes it's happy tears. Sometimes it's sad tears. But, like, my daughter, she's always like, is Daddy crying? Like, she's... Because I always just kind of be like, oh, man, I remember... Oh man, they was going through some things in that episode. Oh man,
that's why I'm glad to this day they don't show those two characters in the opening of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Woo, brother! Look, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I don't know how many of y'all have not seen. The Full Metal Alchemist series, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood more specifically, but there's a character that gets clapped in that anime, and there's a funeral, and every time I see that shit, it breaks my heart because she's like, "But Daddy, what are they doing?" I'm like, "Oh Lord, no, my heart."
Oh, well, that's 3 characters there.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch.
The other 2, at one Comic-Con, I saw the shirt, and I actually won it. They was doing some Dragon Ball Z shit, and when they I forgot what their move is, but they combined.
Yeah, they did like the fusion dance.
Yes, I was like, oh, that is so wrong, but damn, it's so right.
Dude, it hits different. It hits different.
Woo.
But yeah, man, just y'all that are coming in here, Lewis, I see SFCK Pulis said was a play. Let me pull this up. Said play that intro to Yu Yu Hakusho and see me act out. Hey, look, if you I always tell people, I can't listen to certain like songs because like, dude, I'll just be a bawling wreck. Like one of my favorite anime outros is it's the closing for Samurai Champloo. And dude, that song just I don't know what it is. It's something about actually that whole the whole soundtrack. Yeah, the whole soundtrack is just chef's kiss. Beautiful.
I have 2 of them. Departure, and I forgot what the other one is. Man, that music. That's what turned me on too. Matter of fact,
one of them.
That's what turned me on to Minmi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, she has this one video. Are you ready?
Oh, bruh. Yes. Oh, see, and that's the thing. See, like, man, it just there's something of I don't know what it is about the way they do music over there, or really with anything else for that matter. But like, it's just like when they put a song on one of these deals, like it will put you in that mindset. Like you are automatically just gonna be like, bam. Dude, like the anime just vivid and just it's in my head now. I can't not visualize what that song represents anymore. Like I can just see it as clear as if it was like right in front of me. Like I may as well just have the anime on watching it while the song is playing in my head. But yeah, it's like I said, that's there you go. But no, let's get into it because like I said, we got the homie in here. Antoine, could you for those, because I know it's been It's been over a year now at this point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what Sankofa's Embrayce is all about. Let's dig into it a little bit here.
All right.
Well, give us the. I guess I don't want to say like the last time on since we were just talking about anime. I don't want to say like the last time on Dragon Ball Z, but it almost feels like
one Sankofa's Embrayce.
Right. I like that better. I like that better. Look, I like that. What I want to do is I almost want to go on Cameo and see if I can get one of the original actors. Be like, hey man, can you just say this real quick? You say previously on Sankofa's Embrayce for me. I know we can't get Cyclops. He's gone. He's no longer with us.
I know,
which breaks my heart. But yeah, man, we might need to look into that. But yeah, tell us about Sankofa's Embrayce and what it's all about.
Cool. Thousands of years after the great shattering, the Urugu moon appeared over the skies of imbalance and signaled the prophecy of a coming battle between balance and disorder that would dictate the final fate of the world. Representing balance are the Sankofa children, the Mayat child, the embodiment of creation and order, and the Urugu child, the vessel for destruction and chaos. However, the Sankofa children haven't been seen for thousands of years, and none save a few even remember who they were. So you have this character, Asada, who is one of the main protagonists, or as I say, main party members, because I love role-playing games.
Which, by the way, one of my favorite aspects of this comic. Just want to put that out there.
She is what I refer to as the chosen one, who is said to be on a journey to reawaken the Mayat child. In order to do that, she needs this item called the Urugu feather. And she hears the voice of the sleeping goddess to find a thief to steal it. But not just any thief, she needs a particular thief, Abel, Ani, who is, looks kind of similar to me.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't even mad at you.
he's our rather naive thief. But this is who she needs in order to steal the Urugu feather. And from that point on, that's when the story will break into this big, huge, epic journey. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Now, let me get this. I want to pull this up because let me see. Bear with me, y'all, because some of my stuff got changed. I actually messed around with some settings that I shouldn't have messed around with. So now everything's kind of off just a little bit, but I think I can make this work. So we're gonna transit. I want to show some shots that that Antoine was goodly enough to share with us. And here, let's bring it on over here. Like this, and now one of the things that I like is that because we a lot of comics, especially in this day and age, everything tends to go more dark, and I don't mean like just in terms of storytelling, but just like overall vibe and look. Like it's just like, oh, it's very muted, very dark. I love like just how bright and open everything is. Like you were talking about how like the role playing game influences, but and that's something I feel like is not just a part of the story itself, but it's also the part of the overall look of the comic. Like like you say, you got your party members, but also like how like it's like everything is so vibrant, like you would see or like imagine in an RPG. Like it like probably like. When I was being Carter, we were actually talking about this on the side one day, and one of the things that kind of crossed my mind, I was like, what, I wasn't thinking about it before. Originally, we were talking about this, but I was like, it kind of reminds me like what if you had like a Final Fantasy style world, but you had the your main characters, like you just saw way more black and brown characters of color. You're seeing like just you're seeing way more. You're just seeing a lot more seasoning.
Right.
Is what I'm getting at here. But but no, I really appreciate and love. And by the way, I don't know if it was made even more clear, but this is also, once again, I said earlier, Antoine has a lot of credits here, but he's not just writing this, but he is also the artist behind this as well. So I just think that's awesome, because God knows I would never be able to do it.
I got 7 jobs, man. 7 jobs.
So like let's see.
I can't, but I gotta say too, it's also my wife Queen as well.
Mm-hmm.
She
edits,
she's my,
right?
Yes, she edits, and she's just pretty much my honest ear.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't read comics, but she has, like, matter of fact, one of the favorite comics she loves reading, and she's read it a lot, is the trade to Origin, to Wolverine Origin. She loves that.
Yeah.
But she does know fantasy. She's a big Wheel of Time fan. So she, we only watched the first 2 episodes, but she was real critical. But she got me. I haven't only read 1 book, but so she knows what she's reading, and she just has a type of mind that's just honest. The type of mind that I need to hear, because I don't put a lot of the information of Sankofa and Embrayce out there.
Right.
So I bounce stuff off of her. She's even came up with a few different ideas. But so I may have about 6 or 7 jobs, but she has a huge job. She reins me in when I get too far up in the clouds. And that's just not that's just not the creative development of Sankofa and Embrayce, man. I mean, stuff like putting the books together,
right?
Like in the plastic sleeves, making sure mailing addresses are right. When we vend at like different market days and festivals and things like that, she has a certain aesthetic that she wants to be presented, and I let her go at it, man, and I'm honored.
Hey, but you know what? I that is something that I really think makes it even more special, honestly, just because I can only think back to the past whenever I had some kind of creative endeavor, and there's nothing that is more deflating than having a significant other that doesn't invest themselves in what it is that you do. Like, they don't, like, and I'm not saying they have to be like, just all up in it, but I'm just saying,
right,
like, they don't take any interest whatsoever in what you do. They don't have any opinion one way or the other about what it is you do. They don't really know anything about what you do. And it wasn't until Jesus Christ, my second marriage, where I actually had something like that. And so and I don't know, maybe it's a sign of good things happening in that creative arena, because I go back and I think about some of the people that I've seen, that I've met, that I've talked to, who are involved, and I won't say just not necessarily in comics, but those are the ones that come to mind the most. Like, right. I know that you think back to like names like Walt and Louise Simonson. Like that's like you go back and think about it, it's like, dude, I don't know why I never, as a kid, when I was reading comics growing up, I never thought about the fact that this was a whole couple working together. On some of these comics. It never really, I was like, oh yeah, I was a kid. I was like, oh, they have the same last name, whatever. They probably whatever. But yeah, as I got older, I started really like digging into the minutia of comics and getting to know some, who these creators are. I was like, oh, wait a minute, and like it all made that much more sense. Like that's why it worked. That's why it worked because once again, one of my local friends, a guy by the name of Martheus Wade, his family are involved in the creation of his comics. He, if I'm not mistaken, I think he writes, excuse me, he writes, and I think he draws most of the comic, but like he has I think he has a son who also does some of the art for it. He also has a daughter that's involved with it. I think his wife is involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I don't know, it's I always think stuff like that is really cool. Like when when you can get everybody involved, like that just is insane to me that like that doesn't happen more often. Right. So the fact that that your wife is involved and and she's and honestly, that's a pretty big role. To be the one who's kind of like, all right, here, maybe dial this one back a little bit. Maybe rein this one back. Maybe lean more on this instead, or maybe let this breathe a little. It's an unenviable job because you're having to bring you're having to temper passion with honesty and objectivity. is basically what you're doing. More or less is what you're doing here. So no, I think that's amazing and awesome, and I couldn't be anybody's editor because I would just be like, oh no, it's great. Go ahead. I'm terrible. I don't like, and I always tell people too, man, just don't tell me. Just don't tell me. I always ask for honesty, but I'll be the one to say I usually take that shit very personally. Even constructive criticism, I've never gotten past that. But I'm trying to grow as a human being, everybody. I'm really trying. But no, so with everything going on with because I think as you said before, we originally talked about this. We were literally on the verge, or I think already like going into shutdown. Everything was uncertain. Stuff was just kind of up in the air. And it was also at a time where there was like a lot of misinformation, disinformation going on with COVID. So like no one really knew how to deal with these things, how to move forward. And one of the things, and and this shows you how good my memory is. I didn't have to go back and look this up. One of the things I actually thought was really cool, something you said that you were doing, is like you were talking about the precautions and everything that y'all were taking to make sure that the books that people were getting, they were getting them safely. That y'all were making sure that y'all wore gloves, and you wore masks, that you made sure everything was sealed, and all. So I was like, dude, you know what? I mean, short of like major corporations, and even those don't usually give that much of a shit. But I thought it was really like awesome that like y'all actually took a lot of that stuff into account. So that like I said, it was that was something that actually like everything else fantastic, but I don't know, for whatever reason, that was one of the things that actually stuck out in my head.
Man, that means a lot, man. I mean, my wife is she's an insulin dependent type 1 diabetic. She's 8 years older than I am, so she makes 48 this year. And she's been dealing with diabetes since the age of 12.
Oh, wow.
And she wears an insulin pump. So, and I deal with a little bit of asthma. I grew up with horrible asthma, but we have to take a lot of these different safety precautions. So we don't just want to keep ourselves safe. And, just like we want others to be safe around us and to keep themselves safe so they don't make us sick. We want to do it. We don't want to put other people in a position where they feel unsafe or sick. So that's why I try very hard whenever I'm bagging up these books. you know, I wear a mask, I wear gloves, especially if I'm not feeling that good, like I'm having a sinus attack or something. Either I don't bother with them, or, you know, I wait till it calms down, put those gloves on, put a mask on, seal them up, and go to the mailbox.
Hey, look, I'm not even mad at you, brother. I ain't even mad at you. To once again, I just want to talk about too, just getting back in this comic, like just this, and you probably can't tell just by looking at this, but this book is not thin by any stretch of the imagination. This is like, I think when I went back and did a page count, it's like what 30? It's like, is it 30 pages? It's like somewhere in around is like 29 to 30 pages, something like that.
Issue 2, I know issue 1 is 32 pages. Issue 2 is actually 36 pages.
Good God, I undersold you. I apologize.
It's okay.
But
it's
no,
okay.
This is like incredible, like quality. This isn't like This isn't like one of those like I don't want to I'm not gonna take anybody else's comic because I don't want them to feel like I'm talking shit because their comic is great too, but I'm just saying that just like look how this is just sitting just flat across, man. Like there's no like drift off like you would have with like your average comics. Like they put there's a lot of love put behind this, and like every page is like it just pops. All this stuff just kind of pops. It's just beautiful. Everything's just so sweet here. But like, and I have here, actually I have, this is actually, telling on myself. Y'all see me unbagging stuff. But like, and this one here, same. If you go back and check out, Sankofa's Embrayce #1, same thing. Look, you can even see how like the sheen coming off the lighting in my room. Like, dude, this is
your soul glow.
Dude, right, look, but here's the best part. When this comic gets up off your couch, it ain't gonna leave no grease stain.
Nah.
but no, so I just want to say too, because everybody's in here. I want to say thank you guys for for being in here too, because I know y'all could.
Yeah, what's up, Blerd Game?
Y'all could be anywhere on the internet right now, but y'all are in here, hanging with your boys. But so let's get. I want to get back into this. I want to talk about this a little bit more, like the process and all that stuff, like, and I'm sure someone will probably ask us here because we are going to be taking some questions here in a little bit too. But I wanted to ask just for me, because also being a person who is a creative himself and is often, I probably write down more ideas than any I actually do anything with. But what can you talk a little bit about what it like the level of like work that it took, like the effort, work, and presumably the blood, sweat, and tears that I can only imagine had to be poured into something like this, an undertaking of this magnitude where you are literally doing the job of what typically you would see in mainstream comics. You would usually have a single person doing any one of the things that you do in this comic.
Right.
Like you usually have a separate writer, separate artist, separate colorist, separate letterer. Usually they're not very often one and the same person. So
right.
So you have a unique perspective, I think, compared to almost anyone else I've ever spoken to when it comes to to creating your own comic and getting it to print and putting it in people's hands. You probably have the most unique perspective, I think, of anybody. So I wanted to ask you, what was that like? What is that like? Because you're still currently doing it.
I can tell you this much: it's not easy, especially when you're trying to get the same quality as comics that come to the comic book store, if not the better quality.
Mm.
And it really stems from when I started creating my own comic books back when I was officially back in 92, after picking up my first X-Men comic. So I would draw the comic and write it as I go, and that just kept on. It kept on. It kept on. I finally learned Photoshop when I went to the Art Institute of Houston in between 99 and 2001. And I had roommates that were majoring in other things, and they were taking Photoshop before me. So I learned more or less the process of how to color comics. But years later, I discovered Clip Studio Paint, which
there you
is
go.
formerly Manga Studio. And that just made everything super easy, because the biggest thing was, how do I separate the lines from the background? Clip Studio, Photoshop has a lot of different ways to do it. To me, some are too time consuming.
Yeah.
Clip Studio has like one little option. I think change opacity of lines or something like that. And it just separates the lines from the background. It's a reason why I don't ink, because I'm not an inker. I have a big respect for inkers. I tried it, won't work. But technology has gotten so much better. You started seeing coloring directly over the pencils. Right. And so I've always loved that look. And now that printing technology has gotten a lot better and color technology has gotten a lot better, that's what I do. But it's a lot of work. And I often have people asking, like, why don't you just get a colorist or get this and get that? You know, yeah, that's cool, but money is a situation. You know,
you gotta pay people.
Yes, not that I don't want to pay people, but it goes a lot too with kind of being, I guess, innocently selfish. You know, this is our first comic book.
I empathize with you.
Thank you. So we try to keep everything in-house, still providing a professional quality like you think it came from an actual company. The only thing that we don't do is the printing, but we choose the paper. So when we did Sankofa's Embrayce issue 1, the first thing we did was we did a preview. We did a black and white preview, and I get my stuff printed through Comics Wellspring. It's a subsidiary of Greco Printing. They're out of Michigan, and so we got some previews printed for Wizard World Comic Con that we were coming up to. And black and white, we got the cover done in like the 100 pound, the same weight that you feel that comic in. But we got the pages done, like I think the lowest is like 60 pounds, 60 weight. And when we got it, my wife started flipping through it. She was like, okay, I like this. This is nice. So we definitely going with them. Flash forward to Sankofa's Embrayce #1. I was like, okay, we're going to get the best quality cover, and we're going to get the best quality paper. So it was like the cover, 100 pound weight, the pages, 80 pound glossy weight. And when we got them in the mail, she texted me while I was at work. And her exact words were, they not ready. Shit, you ain't ready. I'm like, okay. So she was still at work. I came home, got off work. The books were on my drafting table. I sat down. It was like I was trying to do every other thing I could other than open them. So I sat down and opened them. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, these freaking pages are thick.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the hell? This is supposed to be 32 pages. And then I got to my page spread on page 16 and 17, which you just opened to, I think.
Yes, it's about right here. Is this
Yes.
I want
when she does her summon, man, I cried because we wasn't ready for it to be looking like that. So it takes a while, but the end result.
Look how thick this is, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell from here, but this junk thick with 3 C's.
Yes. It's often tempting to go with the lower quality, because I even was like, well, baby, maybe let's do a version where the quality isn't so like in your face like that, and we can probably charge less for the books. And she was like, no. She was like, we're putting our best effort forward with this, so we're just gonna keep on with it. And it also goes with the time span between each issue. Hell, I wish I could release an issue every 3 months. Unfortunately, life doesn't work out like that because I still have a quote unquote day job. But I also tell people within that time span between each issue, you're going to see a jump in quality in my skills, be it storytelling and art. So it's a lot of things that I did in issue 1 that I tried not to do in issue 2. Like I look at issue 1, I'm like, but it's like I put a lot of panels on some pages, and I think some pages could have done better with less panels, or some of the coloring mistakes. Like, man, that page looks beautiful, but it's a lot going on. Maybe if I didn't put so much in the background. But the fact that we do this ourselves, we're not working for a large corporation or, like Marvel or DC or anybody. We have the leeway to do that, to look back and make those improvements, to look back and like, okay, we're going to try this and we're going to try this different approach in this issue. So issue 2, in my opinion, looks a hell of a lot better than issue 1. And issue 3 would look a hell of a lot better than issue 1 and 2. So it's work. There's a lot of mental stress because
I believe it.
I was intending to have issue 3 out right now and working on issue 4, but life happens, and I have a lot of encouragement from a lot of close comrades of mine that say, look, man, stay the course. We know it can hurt sometimes because it does, but stay the course, keep doing what you're doing. I am trying some different stuff in the coming year, but as far as the whole basis of putting it together, it's still me typing up the story, me lettering it. We'll probably invest in some better lettering programs or better fonts because I can only do so much. And I'm not trying to spread myself too thin. But
no, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I do look forward to the day where I can just pencil and even just color and write and have somebody else doing the lettering. But that's a far cry from right now. Unless a miracle happens.
Hey. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Prayers in the air. Here, let's get some super chats. Oh, we got 2 super chats here. Let's see. We actually got 2 from Legion. X420 says Blerd. With the $4.99 super chat says Blerd, can you do a comic vid on Patton Parnell, Man Spider from the Spider-Verse series? I'll see what I can come up with. Let me first, so that way the chances of it happening are more likely. I'm gonna write this down.
I'm glad you did that.
Because
I got something to show everybody.
Let's see what you got.
A little taste of what it takes, or what it's taking to write Sankofa. This is just, I know y'all see these composition books.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not just a poet. Damn it. All of this.
Oh Lord.
This is just some of putting together Sankofa's Embrayce.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's like so I know a lot of creatives do this when they're especially when working on something that has like such a deep narrative. So I'm gonna assume that's part of the Sankofa's Embrayce Bible. Like
yes.
like everything that is, was, and shall be is in those pages.
Pretty much, and things that never will be. I started creating Sankofa's Embrayce. I believe I said this on the last time. It started off just as Embrayce, IYMBRACE. And after I've always wanted to do my own X-Men comic or a superhero comic, but like a lot of my age group, I got into fantasy. I've always loved fantasy, but I really got into fantasy with, of course, Final Fantasy. I watched my cousin beat Final Fantasy VII, and I beat Final Fantasy VIII, and it made me cry. I got so into the characters.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I want to give somebody this type of feeling. And I love imaginary worlds, even when you see things that are familiar. So I started working on Embrayce, and it started off just as your run-of-the-mill, westernized fantasy fused with science fiction elements and these other things. And then once I started learning more about Black history, African history, and eventually the history of different indigenous peoples around the world, it started to take shape. The story started to change a bit. Character started to change a bit. When I met my wife, Queen, in 2005, she met me doing this transition. I ain't gonna lie, I was entering quote unquote hotep territory. Or as I say, no tep.
No tep.
Hotep means peace. I want to say this. Hotep means peace, and ain't nothing peaceful about them Negroes.
No, not even close.
But,
not even close.
Not even close.
There's some militant motherfuckers.
Right. Go to sleep. They go to sleep. But anyway, but I look back at that time, and I'm grateful for that particular time period, because it actually made me more passionate in learning about different things that I never knew about. Learning about different African cultures, learning about different African beliefs. And then when I started to make another transition, or I guess they say evolving, that passion that I had for learning about everything Africa gave me the passion about learning about just the world.
Okay.
Learning about different indigenous cultures and seeing the different connections between different ancient indigenous cultures, no matter how far apart they look. And so I was like, man, I really want to create a world that at its base level is African influence. I call it an afro-fantasy. But as you begin to read more, and as I begin to draw more, and God willing, universe willing, ancestors willing, we get to issue 50. You will see a lot of those different cultural aspects of different indigenous peoples that influences me. So right now you'll see a little bit of it, but you'll get to see more and more like, okay. And I guess that's why I like shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Sankofa's Embrayce. When people read the little synopsis, they often kind of compare it. Yeah. But as I tell them, well, really, what they did, the wonderful creators of Avatar and The Legend of Korra, they did research on Asian culture. Yes. And pulled in a lot of different cultures from different things that they knew. But the story itself, you can find that same story in a lot of different indigenous cultures when it comes to balance. When it comes to good and evil. You'll find it in a lot of indigenous cultures. Anything dealing with elements, anything dealing with balance. So I pull from that because it's part of who we are. Our most ancient peoples is part of who we are. So it's my love letter to that as well. It
reminds me of when I was in high school. I got really deep into studying the mythologies of different countries and continents and cultures. And one of the first things I noticed, because I guess like most people, I started with Greek mythology, and I got really deep into it. I could literally, like, backwards and forwards, I just knew everything that you could possibly know. And I jumped over to Roman, and then I jumped over to Norse and Celtic and African and Native American. And that is something, kind of like you were saying, like, there, even though it's different cultures, there's always that universal truth, that universal plot that is in all of them. And that, like, you go back and look at a lot of the stories of creation across different mythologies, while they do seem like they're different, they kind of come from the same, they're coming from the same place. They're basically telling you the same story. They're just coming at it from a different direction. And that's, and that just kind of shows, and I don't know, and maybe this is why I have a more open mind to stuff like this, but it made me realize that despite the fact that, we all come from different cultures, we all come from different places, we all, come from different backgrounds, at the end of the day, we all kind of come from this. We all come from the same thing. Our experiences may be different, but we are ultimately going in the same direction.
Right.
Our point of origin is the same. Where we end up may be different, but we're ultimately going on the exact same journey. And that's something that, and I'm so glad that you brought up Avatar and the Legend of Korra, because that's actually something that that was one of the things I really appreciated about what they did. And I remember, I don't remember, maybe I might be misremembering this, but I remember like early during the pandemic, like there was something that came out where they were talking about there were people that were trying to sign a petition or get some word of mouth out there because they wanted the creators of Avatar and Korra to do another series, but have it based more on like African culture and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you know what? I don't think the world's quite ready for that yet. But hey, well, they already getting mad. Folks already mad about Black Panther. I don't know if the world's ready. Look, and Black Panther, love the movie, but it's doing the bare minimum. In a lot of cases when it comes to getting that stuff out there. They do a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's like it's one of those situations where it's like this should have been something that was out like decades ago. We should have been past this decades ago. We should have been had a Black Panther and all this other stuff. But it's one of those things that I feel like I like seeing stuff like this, like what you're doing with Sankofa's Embrayce, because honestly, it's kind of giving us that type of a story, that type of a setting, that type of vibe, but also at the same time still being its own thing.
Yeah,
and not being like it's like when I read Sankofa's Embrayce, I don't feel like I'm reading. Well, yeah, there's those cultural elements and some of those kind of fantasy elements that I'm familiar with. I don't feel like I'm reading something that I've read before.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The biggest aspect of that is I really want to provide people. Me and my wife want to provide people with a very unique world, something that I've always wanted to see. And to be honest with you, one of the catalysts that really pushed me was I remember I was speaking with one of my a friend of mine, this one of my art comrades, this white lady from years ago. And we were talking about Star Wars and Final Fantasy. And I was like, man, I just wish there were creations with more of us in here, Black people, because representation is everything for me. But she said one thing that, like, she was like, well, why don't you do it? And I'm like, well, shit, why don't I do it? I got the talent to do it.
It's like,
what the hell? What am I doing? So flash
all right,
forward,
then.
man.
Shit, call me out then.
Flash forward, I want, like, even with the down to the characters, my first idea for the art style was I wanted each character, even my NPCs, non-playable characters, so people in the background, supporting characters, I wanted them all to look like people that you can see every day. I kind of had to scale that back because the process was going to take too long. And I want to have fun drawing the characters, but still put some familiarity in the features. I want people to see themselves. Like one of my favorite characters, her name is Ajak, and you very briefly see her in a cameo appearance of her in the first issue. But she was inspired by not only just my full figured friends, but also like in Brazil and other areas where they celebrate Carnival.
Okay, yeah.
With the feathers, and I love feathers, of course. I
Mhm.
mean, got them in my hair.
Hey,
The
I ain't mad at you.
feathers. And one of my friends, who's actually a cousin of mine, she went to Carnival and beautiful, full figured, and she had like feathers on and the costume. I'm like, I want to create a character just like that.
Mhm.
And one of the best characters I've created because I love posting pictures of her and
Mhm.
seeing different sisters comment
Mhm.
on it, and the fact that they tell me I'm not doing it in a very exploitive way. That's the
Mhm.
last thing I ever want to do. But not just that, I want the characters to be so diverse, not just
Mhm.
of different Black peoples, but one of the
Mhm.
things I love about Final Fantasy, um, like Final Fantasy 12 and 10,
Mhm.
is, and even 9,
Mhm.
arguably 9 has the most diverse cast when it comes to different types of people and
Yeah.
races. Like, you got like a different animorphs, but that if
Mhm.
you look in that game, everything's different.
Right.
But
There's not a whole bunch of samey characters.
right,
Like
right,
you would not, and not a knock against some other Final Fantasies, but usually it's a bunch of skinny.
yeah,
Uh,
white people,
yeah, more or less, more or less.
more or less. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about 15, um, but yeah, I just representation is biggest is the big thing for me.
Mm.
I even had like at one of our market days, I was explaining Sankofa's Embrayce, and I never relent on saying afro-fantasy. I
Mhm.
always say afro-fantasy because that's what it is, even though I fuse it with other things. I guess if I could give myself a title, I'm an afro-fusionist, I
Okay.
guess. But she was like, why does it have to be afro-fantasy? Why can't it just be fantasy? And I'm like, and I looked at her and I was like, because representation is everything.
Mhm.
And you look at Lord of the Rings and ask yourself, why are there so many white people? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I
Where are
watched,
all the black folks? Where are
yeah,
the Mexicans?
they must have answered that because when I watched the first Hobbit and they went to this, I forgot what town it was. It was before they went to the mountain, and I
Yeah.
saw like 3 or 4 black people. I paused
Mhm.
it, took a screenshot, and posted it on Facebook. I'm like, bruh, those are 3 or 4 black people in the Hobbit. What the hell?
Well, you know what it was? It was one of the biggest criticisms I used to always make about Lord of the Rings, because yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It basically wrote a world that was really only it really only lent itself to white characters.
Yeah, it was basically mythology for England that he always
Yeah,
wanted to write.
there weren't even really a lot of female characters
Right,
in Tolkien's works.
man.
Like I can literally think of 2 female characters off the top of my head that were of any prominence whatsoever. Maybe 3, and I'm being generous there with 3. But
Yeah, yeah.
there were only maybe 2 or 3 female characters of any prominence whatsoever. I remember it was a big deal because when they came out with the Middle Earth Shadow of War game,
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time I think there was a black character. Like that was
Mm.
like they created a character specifically for that game for you to you don't play as him, but you interact with him
Mm-hmm.
in some semi meaningful ways. But it was one of those things you're just like, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. I used to always joke that the J.R. Tolkien wrote a world full of white men and women, and the orcs and the goblins were all the people of color, because that's the demonization of people of color, because that was something that was kind of common among him and his
Yeah.
contemporaries. I always point out
Mm-hmm.
H.P. Lovecraft,
Yes.
who was a known racist.
Mm-hmm.
He was a racist that was so racist that he was considered laughable by other racists of his time. He was so racist, other racists would be like, look, man, can you just dial it down a little bit? But yeah, he used to think that black people hatched from eggs. he thought that we were monsters, and that's kind of how once again, it's just how it just kind of comes off. That's just how it kind of came off to me as just a reader of these stories.
Yeah, I mean,
when it came to Lord of the Rings.
You look at when Lord of the Rings was written, and to give Tolkien credit, I mean, his goal was to create a mythology for England. So in his mind, but then even some of the words, like when he describes Galadriel.
Yeah.
The
Lady of the Wood.
Hair and, basically it just, even though, Tolkien despised Hitler and all that kind of stuff, but just hearing him describe Galadriel, it's like that blonde hair, blue eyes,
you write what
fair
you know.
skin. So
you
like,
write what you know. Yeah, I don't expect J.R.R. Tolkien to be woke and hanging out in the barrio and coming to the hood and kicking it with the with the black and brown people of the world. Don't expect it. But it is also one of those problems I had with fantasy in general, because usually you're and it's something that's kind of thankfully finally going away. But it used to be the dark skin races are the evil, like you play, if you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, the dark elves, they're evil. They're always evil. Well, why are they evil? What do they look like? They have dark skin, very dark skin. They're terrible. As we've kind of progressed, people have started to get away from that. I remember that was the thing I used to always criticize about what was a Street Fighter. What was it when Ryu turns evil?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you notice about him?
He turns dark and his suit turns black.
His skin gets awfully brown.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like, okay, so because he's evil. Okay, yeah, because we associate. We've been basically been indoctrinated into associating darker colors with bad people, kind of like you grew up as a kid with the cowboy westerns and whatnot. What was the term? White hats, black hats. Now, granted, they're talking about the actual color of your hat, but just saying that we associate bad with dark, color wise. But and also, once again, I before I forget, because my mind is all over the place today. I'm not. You can tell I'm just Anyway, Legion, thank you so much for the other super chat too. The $4.99 said I know Comics Explained covered, but I want to get you want to get my take on it. That's cool, because I haven't watched Comics Explained's video on it, so I would literally be. And it's also part of the reason why I don't watch anybody's comic book videos, really, because I don't like tainting my own perspective on things.
I get, bruh. Look, I definitely understand. You actually mentioned something a few times in one of your past videos. I think you said something about like crypto memory or something like that. Crypto memory is horrible. Yes. During the creation, and when I say creation of Sankofa's Embrayce, like me actually finally putting it together, I would have all kinds of people sending me links to, hey man, check this out. Looks like something you like, stuff by beautiful, talented Black creators. It's actually graphic novels that I've bought that I haven't read yet.
Because you don't want to read those things and then it taint.
Exactly.
I always call crypto memory the unintentional thief.
Right.
Like crypto memory is like that little kid who picks up a toy and like they're playing with it in the checkout line, and you're getting ready to leave, and the kid not even thinking about it, they just walk off with it. They don't really mean to steal it. They're just not thinking about it. That's what crypto memory is. Like you see something, you read something, you hear something, someone tells you something, and you'll forget about it somewhere down the road, and you'll come back maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, 10 years later, and you'll have this amazing idea. And as far as you're concerned, to you, it's original. You've never seen or heard it anywhere else. It's yours, and you came up with it, and then you find out later, oh, wait, I got that from somewhere else. Like, and I'm not saying, and it doesn't make anybody a bad person. It just, I don't like doing it because I feel like, for one, I don't ever want to copy somebody's homework. But at the same time, if I want to make something creative, I'm going to put the effort into doing something creative. I want it to be something I made, not something someone else made, and I just forgot about it.
Right. That's why that's one of the reasons why it took so long to finally get to that part of Sankofa's Embrayce where I can actually write the issues, write the story, because
By the way, thank you, Michelle.
I was under this notion that I want everything to be original, you know, and that took the longest. I had to scale it back and like, look, bro, one of them workers up there was like, hey, fam, look, and my wife Queen too. Everything ain't gonna be original. You can do as much as you can to separate yourself from something that you think might either deter you because you feel like they'll probably come up with it first, or just stay in your own lane, write your own stuff. I watch stuff that I get inspired by, but like for instance, I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've binged it probably about 6 times to the point where I don't even have to look up and watch it. I can just listen to the music and listen to the voices. But
I know what's going on based on just what song I hear in the background or whatever, or what people are talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, this is this episode.
I can watch that knowing that Sankofa's Embrayce isn't anything like Full Metal Alchemist.
Right.
But I'll watch it because of, number one, the storytelling, the pacing, and the character development. It's a very character-driven story, which is my goal for Sankofa's Embrayce. I want it to be very character-driven. So Full Metal Alchemist and Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra, I call them my textbooks in character development, in pacing. And I can say this right now, honestly. The first arc of Sankofa's Embrayce, I anticipated to be maybe 5 or 6 issues. And I can say now it'll probably read a lot better as a trade. That's one of the things that I'm learning.
Okay.
Still about the issues, y'all, because I don't know when the trade will come out. But
hey, because I will get the trade as well. I love trades. I've discovered that about myself over the last several years. I'm like, nah, I just like having trades.
Look, I can tell you now, the people who actually bought like the issues, a lot of them haven't even read it yet because they feel like, I don't want to open it, I don't want to mess it up. Like, I want you to read it, please. I'll buy another copy, damn it. But please read it. But I can tell you this though, after the first arc, I'm gonna try to work on my pacing a bit more, and everything is gonna be a step up. Whether like we make it to 50 issues, 50 issues is gonna be a hell of a step up from issue 1. So one of the ways that I promote Sankofa's Embrayce is I'm like, man, you guys are learning about this world just as I am. We are building this world. I want you to get attached to certain characters down the line. I want to see how you feel about certain characters. That's going to tell me, okay, maybe I shouldn't overuse that character. Maybe I should scale them back a bit, which is why one of the reasons why I elected to doing a comic book series versus a graphic novel series.
Okay.
When I tried to do it as a graphic novel, I was so hard pressed on making that beginning, the middle, the end, and just ending. I was stressing myself out. But when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it as a comic book series. And that way, I can see how the story grows. I can see what characters people gravitate toward. I can see how people react to it, and I can take my time. I have a definitely beginning, I definitely have a middle, and I definitely have an ending. But when I scale back from doing a graphic novel into doing a comic book series, it made that less stressful, easier to obtain, to get to that middle, to get to that end. The only enemy I have right now really is time. I don't have time to be only working on Sankofa's Embrayce because I'm also, as my wife says, my real job, I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist. And all Sankofa's Embrayce is part of all of that. But I also do art commissions for people. The art that I do for Sankofa's Embrayce is a hell of a lot different than my art commissions because I do like realistic portraits. I do something called Superheroes, HER, and I transform. I call myself the art alchemist. I transform different females who pay me uh, into superheroes, whether it be something that's imaginary or they have a particular one they want to be turned into. I do this for brothers too. Even beyond superheroes, it actually started with changing somebody into a Kemetic or Egyptian queen or Egyptian king or Kemetic king and queen, and it just took off from there. So my visual art, my traditional art is a lot different than Sankofa's Embrayce stuff.
Right.
Because if I did Sankofa's Embrayce like I do my traditional art, it would never get done.
Dude.
It would never get done.
Well, I was gonna say I've seen your art outside of Sankofa's Embrayce, and I can definitely vouch. Yes, it's.
Thank you.
It's very damn good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before what? Here, I want to show this off too before we get ready to. So we're gonna wrap up here in just a moment. I actually want to show off some just because as we're literally sitting here talking about art. Here, I'm gonna pull this up. I want you all to be able to see. I'm gonna kind of pan through this a little bit, but this is actually, you said this is from issue number 3. It should pop up here on the stream here just a sec. But this is the penciled work that you had sent to me, and just to kind of give you guys an idea of the level of detail and what Antoine's adding into this. These are just raw pencils. Just straight up raw pencils, no seasoning, no nothing else added to it. No salt, no pepper. This is just straight up, just right out the pot. And as you kind of look at it here, like I love like this level of like just the pencils alone, just the detail is just insane. It is just insane, and I'm hella into it. I'm hella into it. Can you like just give us a little bit of a while we're here too, maybe a tease as to what we can expect in issue number 3 of Sankofa's Embrayce?
Great question. Issue number 3, the story moves a bit further. As I was explaining in the beginning, the two main protagonists, Asada and Abel, they finally meet in issue 3. That's not a spoiler. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
She finally reaches the Hodori slums to find her thief, and she just happens to catch Abel running away from a person that he stole from in the first issue. But that's issue 3 is a lot of story progression. And I can tell people, I've been saying it since working on issue 3. I'm having so much fun working on it. It's taking longer than I intended, but I'm having a lot of fun working on it because you get to see a little bit more action, but a lot more character development. It's a lot of challenging art. I can tell you this much. I don't know if you put the image up yet, but a lot of challenging art because I'm really pushing myself to do more technological designs, more body movements. And if it's the page that I think it is, I can really explain that page.
Here, let's see. Which one is it? Not the one that was just pencils, but was it one of the?
It's just the pencils.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, that's what I got it on. Yeah. So
it's my pirate crew. I think you see about 6 or 7 of them.
Yep.
The lady pirates. Yeah. That was all me. The poses.
Yeah. I'm about to say like because like there's not a single person that's like doing the exact same thing. Like everybody's kind of got like we got somebody, they got the bow out. They're getting ready to go into full on Hawkeye mode on somebody. We got somebody, they got the 2 blickies out. I see somebody with the look like they got the pump shotty. I'm just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, that's my pirate crew, Asa and the Black Miss, the Pirates of the Black Miss Asa, which is the name of the ship. Actually, it's also the code name for my wife, Queen Asa.
Oh, okay. They see, look, man, see,
but
sneaking them in there.
She tells the story better, but I went outside. I put an X on the ground with some black tape, and I just stood where I believe the character was standing. I would just do the poses, went in Photoshop, cut all the pictures out and put them all together. Like, bam, that's it. I got my reference. I use myself as a reference a lot. But it was fun to do. It's gonna be hell to color.
Oh, I bet.
But I'm here for it. But yeah, in the other images, I sent those to you to show you that you went through issue 2, so issue 3 is gonna look a hell of a lot better. I'm impressed. And yeah, man, you're gonna see the 2 main characters finally meet, and some other things going on. So by basically the first arc of Sankofa's Embrayce is pretty much an introduction to most of the main characters at this point, with maybe weaving a few other ones in, but not trying to do too much.
Dude, like I said, dude, you are nailing it. you are nailing it. Real quick before we get ready to get out, let's see, what was it? It's Shaman 05 live with the $2 super chat. This is Blerd's character and jovialism equal Uncle Iroh. I mean, hey, look, man, look, I ain't.
Man,
I accept it. I accept it.
Hey,
I ain't mad about it.
Iroh is like one of the best characters ever created in life.
Look, I'll pretend to be fucked up about it. No, dude, I love it, dude. Thank you. I'm just saying. But no, that actually reminds me, I need to get my daughter. We've been going down that journey of Avatar and all that. So I gotta get her back on it. We kind of took a little bit of a breather because we were going hard in the paint on it. Like, we're just knocking episodes out, just one after the other. So I was like, yeah, we gotta get back on that. But but before we get out of here, real quick, I do want to make sure that I drop. This should be. You may, if you've been in here for a while, or if you just came in, it should already be there. You've been here for a while. It should be updated in the description. For this video, there should be a link to the website.
Awesome.
Which
Awesome.
I've been trying to remember sneaking into the chat. I'm a terrible person. But it is sankofasembrace.com. I'm actually gonna put it in the chat again right now, but once again, like I said, it'll be in the description. Make sure y'all go check that out. And I'm gonna try and also remember to go in and I meant to, like I said, I meant to prep some of the stuff I just didn't think about at the time. But I'll go back in and I'll add in the some of the social media links and stuff like that. Y'all go check him out. Go follow this brother. Check out his works. Dude is amazing, great. A kind soul, and just all around just amazing dude, and is creative as all get out. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you, but just as you can see right here, bam, I'm looking at not one but 2. Here, I want y'all to see these. Look, this is issue number 1 and issue number 2. I got mine. Y'all need to get yours. Go check it out. You will not be disappointed. Oh, and this man's got it right here. Oh Lord, look. We see y'all are seeing sneak peeks here.
Yeah,
y'all are seeing sneak peeks here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else you got. Oh yeah. Like I said, dude, this dude's actually putting in some real serious work here. Y'all go out here, go check it out, go pick up those copies of Sankofa's Embrayce. And when do you think we'll do you have an ETA on when we'll be able to expect to see issue number 3?
No, for real, I really don't. But my original ETA actually was 3 to 6 months after we finally released issue 2, which was October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have most of the penciling done. Been penciling, and I'll stop and I'll go color. Or if I'm chilling out with my wife in our bedroom, I'll bring my my tablet in there and color. But no, actually, it's December, probably between the end of January and probably January, March.
Okay.
Realistically, more March.
Yeah.
Because being that it's been this long, hell, who knows? I might add more in there. You know. I mean, seriously, I'm even thinking about not even. I try to put the world map in each one. Yes, I have a world map.
I'm gonna say it's 'cause I think I got it here. Let me see if I can. Yep, right here.
Yeah, I try to put a world map and even some of the animals, bestiaries as they call them. Basically, I want to get you guys like the role playing experience, like even down to like the strategy guides. When you look at the strategy guides and you see the world map, and then you see the, you know, information about different things. I even got a glossary. But I'm gonna I might even scale that back for the 3rd issue and just save it for the 4th issue. So who knows? I don't like to have people waiting, so I try to give a little extra, but also I try to stay alive and not stress out. So,
hey, mental health is very important. I think everyone should take it seriously. Yes. So I will say what I say every time. Of course, once again, thank you, Antoine, for jumping on this with us, for hanging out with me, talking, chopping it up about everything under the sun. I didn't realize, like, because, you know, once again, I think we did this last time too, and we get to talking, man. We just get to vibing, and look, time just goes. I was like, I promised this brother I was only gonna hold him up for about 45 minutes an hour. Here we are, a whole hour, almost hour and a half later. But like I said, just that's how you know the conversation's good. But
2 words for you. 2 words. And I'm going to show you that we come from the same time period. Me, you, and Carter.
Yeah.
Cynthia Rothrock.
See, this guy gets it. See, when you know the power of China O'Brien, this how you know we right here.
Yes.
We right here.
Yes.
But like I said, as I always tell you guys, make sure you're taking time to get your water in. Make sure if you got medication to take, please make sure you're taking medication.
Stay safe, y'all.
Man, please stay safe. Don't forget to unclench your jaw. Keep it plus ultra out here in these streets. We out this.
All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, my man.
Peace.
Peace.